Alright gang, on this video, we're going to be starting to work on possibly getting the roof on this thing. So I'll be cleaning up the last one, do a patch on the front, and on here I need to clean a little bit of rust on the back side and make a new piece for the other side. Stay tuned. The benefits of having a rotisserie: I get to move the car around, do what I used to have to do, get what I get done. But yeah, so yeah, that's the area here. Like I said before, probably just gonna slice it along here. There we go. Slice it along here. Just put a new piece in, give a bunch of tacks, and then mold it in, and then mold it into the body itself. Because like I know I said before, I was thinking about doing it all one shot once the roof goes on, but it seems like it'll be a lot easier to do it once it's all complete and loaded flat. But on a side note, hopefully the videos get a little bit better and not as Blair Witchy. I've been using a very expensive DSLR I bought back in 2013, unfortunately, and that's its demise. Poor guy. It fell off my camera stand or my tripod. Ended up trashing a $2,100 body that I bought in 2013. Oops. So here's to the life of a GoPro. Alrighty, guess I'll start cleaning this up and then get this bolted in. Alright, now I got the car rotated up. Figured it might be a little easier since I could just work right here. I had some Rust-Oleum rust converter sprayed on here. That's good to go. Just need to run over it with a DA80 grit. Figure I'd knock this out while the copper weld through is dry on the other side. So yeah, what we're gonna do is splice it along here. See if I can't make a clean cut. Cut right there like that. So yeah, go get some my goggles on real quick, dust mask, all that fun stuff, and then get to cutting this out, and then take some of the old roof skin, make a piece. All right, stay tuned. All right, got my piece of steel here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a very loose cut on here, or not cut, but line it up on here. See about how much I need. Give me a little extra. So I need about that long, and it looks like it's going to be probably at least that wide. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide up underneath, scribe it around, and get myself a perfect cat. Then I'm going to do my old trick here. So right there, that's the piece of steel that we need to cut out. So I'll do that off camera real quick and then bring it back over. See you in a few minutes. Cut that out real quick, debird it. One of the tricks you can do is you take a black magic marker and you can just outline it or layer it down on there to give you a scribe line or something to, scribe this with, see your line. And to get that flush up in there, I need to notch that corner real quick. There we go. Or gooder. You see how it fits fairly decent. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my scribe. Do that. And I got a nice line here I can trim to. So yeah, I'll do that real quick and then we'll see how it fits. All right, there we go. Now we got the fit up here somewhat decent. I mean, I need a little bit of a gap for the MIG weld to get in there and penetrate properly. But it actually only needs to be about 700,000 of inch wide. So I'll scribe that line along here or with the marker, slice that, bring it back over, bring the welder over, and start tacking this guy in. Or actually, yeah, slice it, fit it, copper weld through primer on the backside, tack it in, then a couple of self-tapping screws throughout it, and weld it all the way in and finish it off. So yeah, it's just gonna be a time lapse of me probably just welding it in there, because I guess you guys are already see me trimming, cutting, and all that fun stuff down the sides. All right, so next up will be tacking into place. Alright, now you guys saw the time lapse. There you go. That's what it looks like after you weld a new patch in. This rust here doesn't really bother me. Like I said, I treated it, and I got Eastwood's rust encapsulator that I will douse this entire area in, all the way along that channel there, and up in this corner. The other side's not as bad, surprisingly. So yeah, I'm going to flip the car over, and then we'll weld it on the other side. Okay, now we got the car spun around back to where I need it for the weld this side. So it's gonna be the same deal, except for I'm going to try to fill in the gobbledygook there where I kind of cut through the spot weld cutter. As you can see, this side is way better for the quality of the metal that's down in this area. I don't know why that passenger side gets so bad with rust in that area. Seen a couple cars have the same problem on the other side as I do. All right, same deal. Put a couple screws through in here, and I don't think I'm going to drill. Yeah, I'll drill through a couple of them to get tight into the inner structure all the way through the quarter panel. All right, so yet again, put you guys on a time lapse real quick, and then I think the next thing's up is going to be digging all that stuff out to get to the roof scan. Yeah. All right, back on with the work. Okay, it's not as pretty as the other side because still some chunky old rusty metal there. But for what it's going to be and where it's going to work pretty good. It's pretty nice and tight. Yeah. Look how much more solid that is. I'm putting all that weld in there, welding this all the way through. So yeah, making progress. Not much more to do on this before I put the roof skin on. Like I said, I gotta tear all that stuff out. Yeah, I guess I'll get doing that. Figure out how I'm gonna do that. Once I get the roof skin out from the back, then I'll unbox it and show you guys how. I might actually try to put that on here. Stay tuned. Alright, just to show you how much crap is in the back of that corner there. Yep, all that stuff is back in there. Control arms, brakes, the hinges, the factory hood that somebody cut and put a fiberglass cowl hood on it at some point. Yeah, and there's a new roof skin. So, yep, time to put this all back and then open that guy up. There we go, finally, out of the box. It's the first time I've seen this since February of this year, which was 2002. So I may have fumbled a little bit by putting the car that high on the rotisserie. Have no fear, I can always lower it down and make it a little easier to put it up. And that's what I may do, but that's what it looks like coming out of the box. Hopefully it fits. Yeah, it's kind of exciting for me because it's almost done with the body, hopefully. And then I could burn this box or go live in it. I actually may have to go live in this box because the wife may not like me buying some more car parts. But yeah. Well, yeah, how about I do that real quick? Lower this bad boy down and then throw the roof kit on. Yeah, we'll do the time lapse of that real quick. I hear it down, and this is what I was saying when I was doing the repair up front here. Like I said, it was off a little bit of an angle. There you go. Pair of pliers, crib it right into place. So so that's that. Yeah, cool. Hopefully, can one day, you know, this week or coming up soon, I can pop this bad boy off, trim what I got to trim on it on the body cards over there. The body cards, the body, you know what I'm talking about, those things. So yeah, nice. All right, next is taking this guy off. Probably a little slice there, flatten these out. Actually, I'm probably just gonna slice it right about here. Trim this off a little bit to make that flange, and then see what else I need to do to make this thing fit, you know, like it needs to. Overall, it seems to fit pretty decent. I didn't ruin too much of the car. And yeah, that's sticking up because of the that extra material there. Clamp that in really nice and tight with a C-clamp. Trim that back a little bit. And then this right here could be hammered and dollied in a little bit more. And let's see how we look over here on this A-pillar. I think it looks pretty close. Yep. That's pretty close. I mean, that I can live with. That's workable. You know, I take a C-clamp, put underneath here, push that back a little bit in there, and I'll get that right in line. Get and this was also, you feel this, it's up. Yeah, you can see it up in there how much more has to move over. Move that over, and that should pop over on that side pretty easily, hopefully. Now listen to that reverb without none of the sound editing on it. So okay, next coming up will be taking this guy off and trimming the few areas that I need to trim. Alright guys, took the roof off the car and marked out where I needed to trim. I'll turn the light on here so you can see it. Yeah, a little bit more. And yeah, there we go. So we gotta slice it there, trim it down and around, clean the pan off around where the weld goes before the copper weld through. Clean that off, trim it on the other side, and went around and clean up the top of the car for where it's gonna be welded. All this stuff's gonna be painted along here. Copper weld through across the front. These couple holes here I'm not worried about because I can back weld through once the roof's on. They're just tied in there. And cleaned up the channels up here. They're not too bad. Ended up going to Home Depot and getting a paint stripping wheel to get up in there pretty good and get out the rest of the weather strip adhesive. Oh man, I'm tired. The seam sealer they put up there along here, which is going to get to once I get back done with it. The roof that's finally on the car. So yeah, gonna set the camera up, trim that stuff real quick, deburr the edges, and throw it back the roof back on and see how it fits. Alright gang, so this is what I came up with. This is one of the problem areas on here. On this particular side, got the right marker. Yeah, you got the silver marker. On the front side here, you can see there's a little bit of a gap there. And this is the one that I completely replaced in one of the early videos for the A-pillar. But in the back here, or actually, yeah, I'll draw the line real quick. So I'm probably going to slice it back to about here, and then, there we go. Slice it back to about there, and then bring that front edge over here. This only comes out to about, let's see if you can see it. Go underneath. There you go. I can hammer that flat and wrap it around, still work. You can see that's all the way in there like it's supposed to be for a way that this is bent over. So I can actually hammer this flat a little bit in here and still bend it over and not really worry about trimming all this back. If I were to trim the A-pillar, I would have to trim it all the way back about down here to make it a nice and smooth transition. Whereas if I just hammer this flat up to about here a little bit, and it's still enough to be bent over. Plus also, this has got to be all body worked and all that stuff with filler or lead or whatever. So that seems to be the more correct route for this side. And as for the other side, that's going to be the more interesting one. And I'm probably just going to do it on the car and not take everything off like it is. I kind of like the position, and I'll probably drill a few 1/8" holes along the front and back, put a couple clecos in. So yeah, same deal on this side. On the driver's side, you can see a little bit more of a gap here. Remember, this is the original A-pillar that's in the car with just the cover replaced. So with this, same deal. Looks like I have to probably slice it all the way back to about there to actually get that to move over. And let's look on the inside here. Now you see how much more room is in there? There we go. This is the one because I didn't get the cover far enough forward, or else this would have fell right on. So with this, I don't really need to trim it, or I don't need to flatten this out a whole lot on this side. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my other marker, my blue one, because I have multiple markers. Since I screwed up, I'm probably going to just grind it back to about here. Yeah, there we go. Something like that, and then that should be able to fold over like it should. I'll do that off the camera because it's just grinding and then a bunch of tack welding along the edge here, and then smoothing it over with a file and matching the radius. Same deal with this. This is going to be a slice with the grinder, all the way up to about here. Take a C-clamp, clamp it in here. And then that way I can just tack weld it in and grind it. And when I go put it on, take this off, the skin off the car, put the sound deadening on it, I can final metal finish it on the inside of it and then give it a nice coat of paint. Back here on where the rear window goes, this side, perfect. I can't complain. There's where we trimmed it. Shows all this stuff right in here, right where it's supposed to be. And this is going to be, same deal, a bunch of holes drilled through it, all the way through, plug weld it around, and then I'll give it a couple of welds on the edge to hold it down in. And also, like they did in the factory, they had it back up in here. The other interesting thing about this side is, you can see how it doesn't really fall, where the bend of the skin is, doesn't really fall down into here. So I may trim this a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Just to match that. I mean, it fits pretty decent down here. Why doesn't it fit? I'm not sure. That's why it's got the ratchet strap on it. So that's the driver's side. Driver's side's problem. We got three problems on the driver's side. Forward edge, aft edge, and down in here a little bit. And then one thing on the passenger side, it's interesting itself. I think it's just the way AMD stamped it. Is that. This hole here. No matter what I did or tried off the camera, get that down, I don't know what happened there. I think it's just because of the AMD stamping. Where it crimps around to the drip rail up there, it's like perfect, plenty of room, not going to move anywhere and all that stuff. So I don't know sure what I'm going to do with this. I may just put, I don't know, seam sealer in there, or I can probably, big a little piece in there to bring it down. I may do that, try it, and see what happens. All right, stay tuned, see what happens. An hour and a half later, came out pretty good. Here's why it took so long. The other side, to cut the A-pillar back, took a while. And I still got to do some filler work on it when I go to finish all this out on the other side. But yeah, that's what it looked like. This hammer is flat a little bit. Yeah, it looks like still like the crease there is still there. But once I hammer this area over flat, that crease will show up down in here. And that actually made it a lot easier the way I did this side. So yeah, you can see it's kind of nice, flat. How I got it so flat was taking my time. Go figure. Bunch of little tacks, hit it with the right angle grinder with a 60 grit disc. Then I went back and filled in the low spots a little bit. Went over again with the right angle grinder, and then I took a flat filed everything smooth, and then took a DA sander with an 80 grit disc on it, and that's how that ended up looking. The only thing I gotta do is go get the trim too at some point when I go do the body working on this, because I think it's gonna be a smidge of filler right in there, just so I can see if it's got the nice straight curve. Can you take a look at the other side real quick? See how that looks. Yeah, this side, same deal. Sliced it along there, filled it, ground, flat file, DA. And this here, I just took my my 4.5 inch grinder, ground it back to like as you're splitting the seam there, and then just molded it up from here. Bunch of tacks, flat file it. It's giving me a smidge of filler on this side because I flattened the radius out a little bit when I was crimping it on with the door skin crimping tool that I have. Oops. But it's not a big deal. Like I said, I knew all this stuff had to be body worked anyway, especially up in this area, because usually when you put filler on it, you start from like down in here and then you end up in here just to make a nice smooth transition. All right, time to take this off, raise the car up some, and flip it on its side. All right, so I did raise it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray up in here, work my way across as far as I can reach, and then rotate the car over, finish the other side. Yeah, I'm really excited because I've been wanting to do this for a while now. So yeah, let's get the paint, get my mask on, safety glasses, let's get the paint. There we have it, painted. Let this dry overnight, I'll flip it back over, take off the rest of the tape, and yeah, making pretty good progress. I mean, it looks like it should, painted. I know there's a couple score marks in there from when I cut the roof off, but I'm not worried about it. Never see it. I got to touch up the copper weld through primer a little bit up there. I mean, it is what it is, unfortunately. And then there's up top. So yeah, next thing's coming up is this. I guess sand the top with the DA sander real quick. Yeah, some Scotch Brite on it. That way the sound deadener, the lizard skin that's going to be sprayed on it, has some tooth to bite into. So I'm going to knock that out real quick, and then go get the lizard skin, spray it on. That way I can let it dry overnight, and then hopefully in the morning I can spray on the heat control, the ceramic coat part of it, or at least sometime tomorrow, because I'll leave the ceiling fan on here overnight and let the air circulate. And then yeah, we actually got maybe get up on the car and mold it on and get on to the next project. Alright guys, mix up some blue skin. You guys see me do that before on, when I did the quarter panels. So, same deal, mix it up with the mixer on the drill, do a quick sample. Looks perfect. Alright, I'm going to put my dust mask on, and I'm going to start from the bottom up. The reason why I have it standing vertical, because the last time I did it, when I did the quarter panels, they were laying flat. And the siphon tube in here is straight down. So it was only getting so much of the noser skin out of the cup itself. So I figure I stand this vertical, get much more out of the cup, makes more sense to me. Then I get my dust mask real quick, open the side door. I mean, it's floor based, it's not a big deal, but I'm smelling some of the rusty encapsulator kicking off on the roof, on the roof structure itself. Dust mask, and yeah, let's get it going. Alright, nice. Now that's done. Let this dry, harden up overnight, and tomorrow I come out here, spray the ceramic coat on it, and then copper weld through spray, touch it up on the car, and then spray it on here, a couple coats. Then we'll get it on the car, spot weld it around the perimeter, hammer the edges, and a thin bead of panel bond along from the windshield or rear windshield to help make sure no water gets in there, and then give it a little bit of strength. All right, that's coming up next.
All right, guys, it's the next day, and that's what it looks like when it's dry. Trying to spray some the ceramic coating on there for the heat control, because it's the roof, and like I said, I like being cool. And oh yeah, sounds nice and dead. But yeah, I have that perfect opportunity to be able to do this, to spray it on here now while the roof skin is exposed like this. So why not? And why not go ahead and do it? So yeah, here's what it looks like after the Eastwood's rust encapsulator cures overnight. I mean, that's what the time I sprayed at 7 o'clock last night, and it's now 12 o'clock the next day. So yeah, I have a good, what's that, 17 hours later. So yeah, I'm doing math in my head as I'm talking. So yeah, there we go. So much better. No rust. It's clean. Don't mind a few dents in there from when I had the pry bar trying to get this old roof skin on. And you'll never see it, especially once I get the headliner in and all that stuff. All right, you guys already see me mixed up spray the sound deadener, but I'm not going to show that because why keep on repeating myself. So I think the next thing will be to do, after it hardens for 24 hours, put the roof skin on. Yeah, that's literally the last thing. This is the last thing I got to do before putting the roof skin on. All right, stay tuned.
All right, so guys, here we go. That's what it looks like with the copper weld through on the roof skin. Yeah, I didn't really cape it off. Didn't prepare it very well all around the edges, but it's fine. Seriously, I'm not gonna worry about a little bit of overspray. So yeah, that's what it looks like with the ceramic coat on there for the heat control. Not too bad. And the car's up on its side because I needed some space to, well, do that. Okay, I got this dry for 24 hours. Next time you see me, I'll be putting the NVH compound on the roof in a bunch of spots. I'll go back and look at my pictures to see where the factory had it and try to put them back in the same spots. All right, that's coming up next, is literally putting this guy back on and putting it on for the last time. All right, guys, so it's much later. Yeah, that's pretty solid. So yeah, we're actually trying to get this guy on, and went ahead on my DSLR, my camera, my cell phone camera. There we go. I went and laid out all the areas where the NVH compound needs to go on the roof, on the inner roof structure here. So I gotta go get that, break that out, squirt a bunch of that on there, and luckily it's a little cold out, so it won't take too long for it to actually. It would take longer for it to actually harden, because it's being colder. It slows down the process of it catalyzing. And then on the roof itself, I'm going to lay a bead of panel bond just along this edge in here on the inside, so when I fold over the lip, I don't have all that squeeze out getting on me. And same with the back there and the fore edge, the rear edge. Yeah, and the trailing edge, leaning edge, or the back of the car, front of the car. I'll put a small smidge of it along in there too, just to give it like a little bit of a sealant. So yep, let me go find that the tube out. We'll do the NVH compound, get that load up in the gun, and then let's start up that time lapse. Well, that sucked. The NVH compound I was putting on the roof, tube screwed up. Luckily, I could go back after the fact and add it in there, so it's not that big of a deal. I texted a buddy of mine. He's like, "Yeah, I can squirt it up in the holes and expand up in there to hold it where it needs to be." So I had to wipe all that stuff off, which sucks. Oh well. But yeah, shitload of clamps, and that's what it looks like. I think what next I'm gonna do is along here. Just maybe put like 1 or 2 screws just to hold that in, and then start going around, bending this underneath, and hammer it down hammer this up over, and then I forgot to grind the paint off the front and rear lips. It's no big deal. We can do it after the fact. That's why I got so many clamps on it. So yeah, drill screws. Just like I said, like 1 or 2 just to hold this nice and tight on the other side, and then bend this over with a pair of sheet metal pliers as much as I can. I have a rubber dolly and a hammer, and we'll get the hammer and dolly. My poor forearm. Yeah, that's a pain in the butt getting these things on. Hammer, rubber dolly, bang as over as much as I could possibly can on there with the hammer and dolly to get it crimped onto the inner structure. And then I have this tool from Astro Tools, the DS1000 door seating tool from the Astro Pneumatic Tool Company. There you go. I bought it on Amazon last year, earlier this year? Yeah, earlier this year or last year, and about this time last year, I bought this so I can put the door skins on, and without hammering too much and bending it up, and it caused me a little bit less rework to do, or less fill work. So while the tool is not perfect, that pneumatic door skinning tool is not perfect, as you can see. There you go. It does leave a few little dents and stuff in there, especially like when you're trying it in the radius. It's fine, not a big deal. Because remember, like I was saying previously, this all gets body worked all up and through here to match this contour there. What it does save me doing is trying to hammer that all the way up underneath there, and just 1,000 more blows to get something done. But yeah, there we go. That's what it looks like. And my little light died. There we go. And let's see what it looks like up underneath here. There we go. That's what it looks like crimped on. Same deal on here. A little bit of body work needs to get done. Needs to get welded, ground down, and filled in. We're gonna probably weld it from here. Tack, 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 tack. Grind it smoothly again, like I did on the other side. So yeah, you see up in there, squeeze out a little bit. Yeah. So like I was saying, what I can do with the tool, the NVH compound, I can squirt it up into here in a couple of these holes. It'll fill that in and give us plenty of make this not as tinny and give us some kind of structure to the, or some kind of support to the roof. So yeah, there we go. So we're getting almost to a completed shell here. Next is coming up is spot welding along the front and leading edges. So yep, I'm just getting my big butt up in there, slide the car over back to its spot. My little vinyl grinder grind welds off about every 2 inches, or grind paint off about every 2 inches, and then grind everything smooth. Well, shit, there we go. Spot weld up front and back. I didn't do around the radiuses here because that's a little bit thicker metal, and I'm just going to go drill the quarter-inch drill bit trick. Drill 1/8 inch hole and plug well through it. So that's there, and there's where you see the screws. Still got to drill a few more holes, and that's what it looks like all along the back there. Cool. I'm going to take a quick little break, grab myself another beer, and then we'll get to doing some plug welding with the MIG welder. Alright guys, so I just went ahead off camera and welded the plug welds, just because well, you guys see me drill and use the 1/4 inch drill bit trick on doing plug welds. They across front there, in the corner here, a couple spots where I had the clecos, one there, and then across the front here, yep, spot welds all the way across the front with the spot welder. And then in here, just mimic what the factory was. There was a spot weld, or there was a spot weld from the factory, but it was I did a plug weld here, here, and here. Reason why I did 3 spots, because well, my spot welder is not powerful enough to weld through all that thickness of metal. So there's that side, and let's go hold this guy out here. Like I said, I like having a rotisserie for a few things. Makes it so much easier when you're in a small garage. And let's get front here, take this up real quick. I'll talk about something in the back. Same deal, just went along, a couple plug welds through here, same with where the cleco was. You guys saw that already. Down along here, did the same thing. A couple in here, I still need to grind this down, but it's pretty late, so I don't want to fire up the 4.5 inch grinder. So I got a little bit of work to do in this area. Luckily, I can get to the back side here to paint and give it corrosion protection. It's pretty easy to get to. It's, you know, there's an open spot in the back here. So you can see it. Yeah, there we go. Open spot in the back. I could get some rust encapsulator or internal frame coating in the back there, or POR 15 or whatever I have kicking around. But it seems like here that this line comes up, it starts too soon. You know, from the roof skin. It's just, this is my problem, my application. I may have not got the quarter up high enough to match this, but which I think I did because the door lined up and all that. That's fine, it is what it is. So yeah, so what I think I'm gonna have to do is give it a slice here and recreate that radius a little bit further down. Like I said, I'll do that when I get the trim and the body work and all that stuff. Only thing that's really left to do on this is to fill this stuff up in here with the body guy I was talking to, the guy does like body work like something kind of like GTO. He says use all metal, yeah, all metal filler. That's what it's called. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's called all metal. It's a 2-part filler. Mix it A and B, flip it up on a clean sheet, or mix it together on a clean sheet, and then slather it in there. I know it was lead from the factory, but hey, that's what he says to use. I'm like, okay. Up here, it's gonna be. I'm just gonna tack weld, a bunch of tack welds around this, and same thing with along here, bring a couple tack welds up along this to make that a little bit smoother of a contour going into this. That was kind of wonky, but hey, it's round. I'm good to go with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the roof replacement. And then there's a little like few odds and ends I need to tidy up on it, but that's just like, you know, off camera stuff that nobody didn't realize to see that you should just be doing anyway on your car when you're building it. Like, finally, I can cut that stuff out of the inside. How about that? So alright guys, that's gonna bring it into this video. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, listening to me rant on about all this stuff. And this unfortunately is a long video. Couldn't figure a way out to break it up into 3 parts. I just think it would have just, you know, would have been too much that way. So cool. Next up, I don't know what's gonna be next up. Oh, I know what it is. The DSC spring relocation kit that goes right in there on the frame rail. Cut a chunk section out, move the springs inboard, and then modify the rear axle for it to pick up on the new position inboard of the car. Yet again, thanks for liking, subscribing, watching, sharing, whatever you guys want to do with this. Questions, comments, please drop them below in the comment section. I definitely appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.